pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Fake. They have a man. It's a conversion on the fake. It's complete out wide to the big tight end, David Butler. And it's a Rams first down. It's tough. I'll say he stepped out of bounds at 15. Right back to it, and he is in. Touchdown for Charles Wolf.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Take a lot of time is Eddie Nunez making a decision to part ways with his head football coach, and Danny Gonzalez is now the former head football coach at the University of New Mexico. Lobos losing double overtime on Friday, and I don't know, and I've reached out to Eddie, and if he's got some time, he said he's got a bunch of meetings scheduled, and I'm going to try to get him on this morning. Danny is going to join us. Danny Gonzalez will join us at 8 o'clock this morning, and looking forward to talking to him. Want your reaction to a lot of things, and obviously, to the news. Were you surprised? I don't know that anybody could be surprised. And it feels, and JJ, I told you this before you left, and I felt that it was really split. After the Fresno State win, and then certainly, with a chance to beat Utah State, and they didn't. And we can get into decisions, and should he have gone for it here, or should he have not, and, play here, a reversal here, whatever. Were you surprised? I'm going to tell you this. I wasn't surprised, but I was a little surprised. I wasn't shocked. I was a little surprised. I thought that the program had made progress. I thought the last 2 weeks showed that the players were playing for this coach and this coaching staff. I saw them beat a good Fresno State team who then lost to San Diego State. I saw them have a team on the ropes that was playing for a lot. I did see progress. I told you I like what the culture is. I like what the program has become in the community. There's a lot of things without knowing everything. Okay. And there's going to be a lot of things. We're going to get into resources. We're going to get into commitment. We're going to get into blowing this whole thing up. We're going to get into the portal. We're going to get into a whole lot of different things. I was leaning to where, and I would have liked to see Danny have another year. Okay. Now I know there's other, well, he didn't win. You're right. 4-8's not okay. And well, after 4 years, and I think the rapidness of the turnaround down south probably played into this. I don't know that I see that many other places. You're going to point out UNLV, but UNLV was a different situation. Marcus Arroyo left a whole lot of players at UNLV for Coach Odom to go in there and turn that thing around. But where I was, I saw an uptick at the end. I saw players who were playing for this coach. I saw progress, and with everything else, and like I've said before, and I know I've taken the hit for this, I think he did everything right except for win as head football coach here. And I would have been inclined to probably lean towards another year.
And I think the challenge was he only had 1 year left.
See, and that's where I'm trying to see now. What I'm understanding is that they signed an extension in after 2020 that nobody really ever asked about. That the buyout could have been $900,000. That Danny basically it settled at $350 because he does love this place. I've been trying to get that confirmed, but I'm pretty certain that there was an extension signed.
Because that changed it. Because I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us were just looking and assuming that he was going into the final year of his contract.
Yeah, and that makes it tough.
The way I was looking at it in that standpoint is,
how can you extend him?
If you extend him and they don't take a step forward, then you're just stepping into a larger potential buyout for your program.
Well, which
forward.
is something I think could have been worked out too. If that was the situation, I think Danny. And look, I don't care what you think about Danny as a football coach. It's pretty hard to argue him as a man, and his love for this place. And I think he would have worked something out to make sure that he wasn't going to leave this place in pain. Right? I think what's been very clear is he wants what's best for this place. He thought he was, and there's many people who still think that. I don't think he was going to hold you over a barrel for a giant buyout, but I understand.
But that's just what the way the business works, and so that's just what you assume having this conversation. Because I had no idea there was an extension potentially signed.
All right, take
because that really to me factored in a lot of what I was thinking about why they do this. Because to me that really answered the question of why you wouldn't take him in one more year because of the whole lame duck. Can a coach on a 1-year contract? What does that do?
Yeah.
And all those scenarios.
Yeah, the way it's been explained to me by someone who would know is that there was an extension after the 2020 season, and it was a 2-year extension through December of 2026, and it was never really made public, and then the buyout for the next couple of years was $900,000, and so I know buyout's always a big conversation. All right, take that out of the equation. I mean, do you feel differently, or so obviously you were saying, yeah, I get it, and this was the right move.
Yes, with that context around it. If there was potentially more time on it, I would have leaned towards one more year myself because you got the offense figured out. With Brian Vincent, assume you could keep him and give him that. Like he had a 2-year contract on that staff. Is that with the work you did offensively, knowing that you have played defense in this span at the University of New Mexico, and you've had put good defenses together, that if you could take just a half step forward defensively, continue to build what you had with Devin Dampier and that offense, that this team could be in contention for turning 4 into 5 and then playing for a 6th win late in the season next year.
Yeah. All right, we're here for you today at 505-246-0610. That's area code 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. The text line is 505-246-0610. We are live on Comcast Channel 26 on our Facebook page, the OD and the AM. Adrian's producing on ProView Networks, and you can get in on that. Want your thoughts on the change of football coach? Because now, all the names that are out there, and we're going to go through, all the names that everybody wants, and I'm not sure what's real, what's not, from Gary Patterson to Bronco Mendenhall to, heck, Rocky Long's name was thrown out there, which I just flat out don't see happening. Name them, right? I mean, there's a lot of names that are going to be tied to it. And some make sense, some don't, and we'll see. But JJ, the bottom line is you've got 6 players already in the portal. DJ Washington, Jamarius Lewis, Tavian Combs. DJ Wingfield was something you were really worried about. Deuce Jones, one of the tight ends, already in the portal. And I saw one of the, I think it was Deuce Jones, and I understand what his stat line was. That I'd have stayed if Coach G was here. A lot of these guys came to play for the staff, and that's where I go back to what I saw the last couple of weeks. I once they were eliminated from bowl contention, I've watched, and you have over the years, many, many teams just kind of play out the string. When they went up to Fresno and beat that team, and that was a great win. And I understand Fresno lost last week to San Diego State too. That was an 8-2 football team when they went up there. And then the way they played, I was convinced that, okay, these guys are playing for them. That's kind of where it solidified me. I saw a team that didn't quit, and I actually saw, okay, this is what it can be. I saw a future. I saw something moving forward. Let's figure out the defense next year, which Danny's made a career on, and they'll figure out what to do on that side of the ball. And that's where I was starting to lean. Okay, I think there's you give him one more year, and I think this thing starts to turn around, and these kids want to play for him.
Yeah, the effort at the end of the season was really good, and those are the things you're looking for when you're asking yourself, all right, can this be something you continue forward? Can this be a head coach, a coaching staff that you give an opportunity to see if they can put it together in all three phases? And when it did come down, Saturday, I was with you. Like, you understand if you look at the coaching record, he's 11-32 over 4 seasons. So that's going to be a real conversation. But after the way that they played, knowing how challenging it is, you're going to have, when you pay a buyout and then you're paying a new coach to come in, you're paying a new staff. And I know a lot of these coaches aren't under contract next year, potentially.
Which coach? The assistant coaches?
Assistant
I
coaches.
think the only one that's under contract through next year is Brian Vincent.
So that's not, you're going to end up having to sign coaches anyway, so it's not an overwhelming amount of money that's coming in. And I wonder, too, how much that factors in to the decision to just go in an entire different direction outside of the head coach.
Yeah. Bryant Vincent was going to be hard to keep, and will be, because there's going to be offers. And I think we've talked about this ad nauseum. How do you keep Bryant Vincent around here? So I think he was going to be hard. He's going to have some more offensive coordinator jobs, maybe a head coach opportunity. And so we'll see, what happens. I got to believe he'll get an opportunity, and it'll be a new staff. But yeah, so now you're going to rip it down, and we'll start over. And what will that mean? The other thing, and you talked about money, and I think this is going to be an important conversation moving forward. And I think Eddie hit on this yesterday in his press conference. And I was out of town, and I apologize for not being able to be there. Is resources and what's going to be put into the program, and do the resources equal the expectations? Matt Rule said something, and I'll find the exact quote, but I'm paraphrasing. He was talking about his young defensive coordinator who's getting a lot of job offers, and said, I encourage him to take the job. Go be a head coach, but take the right job. Don't go to a place that's expectations that they can't afford their expectations, or their expectations are higher than their what their resources are. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And is that something that we've got to discuss around here? The resources, whether it's coaching pool money, whether it's the facility itself, those sorts of things we've been talking about for months. Is it you want to be with your peer institutions in this league? You expect to be competitive, and you're going to say, well, look what New Mexico State's done, and let's see how long they sustain it, and that's fair. And what Jerry Kill's done down there is different, right? And you're right. It's odd, and I know that's a comparison. I know that it's a factor that's really, really chafing Lobo fan. But I think the resource conversation is going to have to be something to talk about.
It is, and for me, I have the expectations as competing to win 6 games. I know the motto with Danny Gonzalez was conference championships. You want that. I would like to see a team that starts with getting to a bowl game. That starts there, and maybe they can have that special spark year where they could be competing for a conference championship. Right. But I don't think that's the expectations, in my opinion. But I wonder what it is overall for Lobo football.
Yep. All right, 505-246-0610. Let's go. 888-922-0610. Your emails are already coming in this morning, Jeff, at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Let me be really clear on this. Like I understand both sides of this. And when I tell you I'd have been inclined to probably go another year, I'm not privy to all the conversations, right? All the information. I'm not. Nor are you, nor is anybody else. We see what we see. But I understand it. Like this wasn't cut and dry. This wasn't easy. I understand that this had to be a really hard day for Danny, for Eddie, for their families. It's emotional. So this isn't one of those where I'm yelling and screaming on this. We're asked to give our opinions here. That's what we're hired to do. And that's where I would have leaned, and that's where I thought it was kind of leaning, and I was wrong on it. But I understand it. I'm not telling you Eddie just totally screwed this thing up. I know it's a big hire now. I'll tell you that. It's a big hire for him, right? And I know he knows that. So we'll get into that more. We'll take your phone calls at 505-246-0610. Go through the NFL. How about your Broncos, by the way? Is that 5 in a row after starting 1-5? They have
That
playoff
would be
team?
correct.
Holy bleep.
Man, 5 in a row.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened like that since the Super Bowl year.
Yep. So we'll get into all that, and we're open for you at 505-246-0610. Hey, for years I've been telling you about IPS, offering standing guards or 24-hour patrols to protect your home or business. You might not know IPS also installs home alarms, and they've been doing that for years. But they want to remind you, if you don't have an alarm in Albuquerque, you're much more likely to be a victim of break-in. The IPS technology team also installs video cameras to record criminals who vandalize or steal company or home property, and the video will help police in investigations. And when the bad guys see surveillance, it discourages criminal activity. APS will set your business up with access control. The only people then authorized to get in will be the only people who do get in. Sign up and have IPS monitor your alarm, monitor your cameras, and when they see something or the alarm goes off, it's about 7 minutes, and they're there to check things out. IPS provides the manpower and technology to protect you, your family, and your property. It's a winning combination. Call 505-897-2420, 505-897-2420, or online at ipsglobal.com. Passionate about making Albuquerque a better and safer place to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro V. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife. And our daughter. They didn't make it.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
You ready, Sal? You ready?
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, my mom.
As Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Sucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
If you're drunk, classic, intoxicated,
Rip, plaster, paint.
destroyed, bruh. You're like this,
You shouldn't be driving.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you back home, huh?
I got this, White. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet.
Does anyone need White's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, White.
Boom.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle. There's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
With, with patience with a new coach. Bourne says, regardless of what Nunez says publicly, to put out the presser at the time he did, he must have been very confident the Aztecs were going to blow out Fresno State, that the Bulldogs weren't very good. Eddie wasn't going to have egg on his face by watching a big Bulldog win and then face questions why he made – what does that matter? Because they would have beat a Fresno State team that was at 9-3? Why would that matter? I don't know. David says, good morning, Jeff. I wholeheartedly agree with Eddie Nunez's decision to part ways with Danny Gonzalez. When only 4,000 to 5,000, if that, show up, something's got to give. Fans were, in my opinion, tired of Danny overhyping the state of global football, especially when he guaranteed a bowl. Last place or tied for last place in a weak conference for 4 years is an improvement. The attendance is probably an issue. Yeah, I think that's something that's got to get better.
I think there's some really interesting talking points moving forward, though.
Yeah.
For global football, for the fan base, the balance between doing your job as still a salesman of your program, which when you don't win, it's viewed as overhype, or the dude that versus Bob Davie, where people just complain that he didn't care, he didn't live here, and so what do you want?
You have the two extremes. Well, they want to win.
Oh, obviously. But you're not. You're not going to snap your fingers and win 10 games next year.
Do you have so, by the way, I will argue with you when people tell me this is a weak conference. I know it was a balanced conference. I know that you didn't have a dominant team and you're not going to represent the group of five in a New Year's Six bowl. But I would argue that your top 5 or 6 teams are pretty good. I mean, I know what their records are, but San Jose State's playing as well as anybody right now. Well, Jeff, they're 7-5. Yeah, UNLV, San Jose State, Boise State, Air Force, Wyoming, Fresno State were pretty good. Like, I would argue that this is a weak conference this year. It was a balanced conference. Has it been better? I don't know if it's ever been more balanced, but there wasn't a dominant team. Do you think this was a weak conference this year?
I never thought it was weak.
I don't get that at all. But because there isn't a dominant team in the rankings, and they beat up on each other, it's like what the Pac-12 did to each other for years.
Oh yeah,
right.
When you had 3 teams sitting there until Sunday morning, waiting for computers to spit out rankings to see who's going to be in the Mountain West title game.
Yeah. And it's, by the way, it's going to be at UNLV, and it'll be Boise State at UNLV. This was Eddie Nunez yesterday, the athletic director at UNM. How he started things off in regards to talking about the decision to change.
My goal is and always is to make the right decision, regardless of how tough or challenging it may be. At the end of the day, it was my decision. As I've always said, I want to make sure that I put our student athletes first. I'm going to put our teams in a position to be able to compete for championships, and doing so while representing this institution in a first-class manner. I want to take everything in when I make those decisions. This is no different. I've done it, again, the same way over and over. The only difference with this now is that the landscape is changing in college athletics. And we want to make sure that we stay not just a part of the picture, but a true contributor in the future. I want to say thank you to President Stokes, the Board of Regents, for their support during this process.
All right, and I think that's a big piece. Let me give. I want to address 2 things here. First of all, that the email and the timing of it, like had nothing to do with what Fresno State did. And Danny talked about this yesterday. And I'm sorry, Eddie talked about it yesterday. And Danny wanted to wait. He wanted to talk to the kids first. He wanted to come out then. I mean, that's how Danny did. He wanted to be able to meet with the kids and the coaches first and let them hear it from him. And that's why it was announced when it was. I don't know why there's anything nefarious about that. When he says we want to be, what do you say? We want to be part of the process. We want to be part of this, right? I mean, JJ, is that realistic? Where everybody else is invested. We've talked about facilities. We talked about salaries. I mean, all those things. We talked, and we'll talk to Eddie about this at some point. Is the resources committed to this program that it can consistently compete for a conference championship? And I'm talking about all that. Like when we hear NIL, right, and what Kurt Roth is doing with Ventures 505, and that's great. We always hear it kind of directed towards basketball, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Where's that commitment for football? Right? Other schools have that. That's got to be an issue. That's got to be. I mean, you want to play, you got to play. Right? That's just the way it's going. We talk about the new era, the new time in football. I think that's a big piece of it. But the other resources, the facilities, the coaches' salaries, all those things.
What is fair for this football program? The fans hear conference championship, fans hear bowl game. For me, it's bowl game.
Okay.
I think 6 wins is the first step. And while I'm okay, I'm not going to sit here and get mad at a coach for talking about conference championships, get mad at a coach for setting those expectations. That's what you should be doing at every single program, and understanding there's development and steps you have to take along the way, but you're trying to set an attitude. And so that's why I don't get overhyped, this or that. Like you're trying to do something as a head coach, part of your job, not just, to prospective student athletes, but to the fans, is trying to sell something. And Danny Gonzalez swung for the fences, and they caught it at the warning track. So what happened?
You think the guarantee for a bowl game was? Because I think that's so overhyped in regards to, well, he had
it cost him his job.
No, I don't think at all.
Because of that. No.
I mean, I think there was a guy that was probably trying to fire up his team that firmly believed that I don't think that was an off the cuff. I thought, I'm sure that was something he had thought about. And I think he believed that. And it's one of those things, man. What is a guarantee anymore? People guarantee, I guarantee whatever. I guarantee this is going to happen. That never bothered me. And I know it bothered a lot of people. And I don't know what it is you want a coach to say. Yeah, we're horrible. We're never going to win again. Whatever. But All right, let's take a break. 505-246-0610. When we come back, Eddie Nunez is going to join us, the athletic director at the University of New Mexico. Talk to him about the decision, about just some of these questions, about, why now, what went into it, just the stuff that you want to hear. The athletic director at UNM will be with us next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
You ready, Sal? You ready?
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, my mom.
As Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
If you're drunk, classic, intoxicated, rip, plaster, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
José Mahadir, President of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, Warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of ND Safety. ND Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. ND Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Sucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Hey, Dad, when you out.
sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of Pro U Sports.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong.
A few minutes for us. I know the phone's going crazy, and I appreciate you spending some time with us.
I really appreciate it. It's one of those weeks where there's not a lot of things that you can actually arrange because it's going to continue to change minute by minute. So no problem at all, guys. Glad to be on.
One of the questions that came up this morning is if you'd have won on Friday, would this have been the same decision? Would it have just been a harder decision? Did the result of that game matter?
You know, again, I don't want to speculate and say if one game would have changed the whole narrative. I try to really look at the whole program from top to bottom. And that's the same thing I've done with every other program, and I did with this one, is, look, of course, we all wanted to continue to win and win more games. I believed it from the beginning of the year, and every game we went into, I had that same mindset that I wanted to make sure that we did what we could to win that game. So would it have changed it? I don't know. Would it have been a part of it? Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's part of the decision. You have to take in every aspect, and that's my responsibility. So, yeah, it would have been a part of it, but I don't know if it would have changed it. I think that would have come down to ultimately assessing everything with that the way it was.
You said a couple things yesterday at the press conference. You said we want to be part of, the situation moving forward. You want to be a competitor in this league. And then you talked about where the program is now, and you said Danny's done, you put us in, and I think at one point you said a great spot, but acknowledge the progress that was made. So how do you sustain that moving forward with a new coach as opposed to just rebuilding from scratch? And then, the resource, and we've talked about it a lot. Is your football program, do you feel resourced appropriately for the expectations to compete at that level year in and year out?
Well, I think I'll start off with, I don't think anybody feels they have enough resources because this game is too big, too fast, changing quickly. And I think if you ask the individuals at Texas A&M, they're going to tell you they still need more resources.
They do all the time.
And so here's the deal. Are we resourced the way we should be now? Our president understands that, our state understands that we're trying to do what we can with what we have. The NIL factor is real. We have to have a way to continue to grow that where we can. But when I look at our program in comparison to others, and I try not to, the last thing I try to do is compare as much as I can with other schools, but sometimes you have to when it comes to budget, finances, resources. And there's a lot of other schools that have less than us that are doing better than us. And it's not talking about where the program is. Danny's done a great job putting the program. I don't see this as a total rebuild, as people continue to say. This is an opportunity really for us to take it from where we are today to the next level. And Danny has laid out an unbelievable foundation for us to be able to do that. So I truly believe that we do have the ability to compete, not just compete for in our conference for a conference championship, but if we have everything that aligns perfectly, like you've seen the Tulanes of the world, they've got lightning in a bottle, and all of a sudden now they're competing. This is the second year in a row. They're in that conversation. We can be that, and I believe it. I believed it the day I got here, and I still believe it today. And I believe every one of our sports has a chance to compete. Our cross country teams have shown you. Our other teams that we have competed have made it that national scene. So for us, it is. It's. We have to do everything we can to make sure we continue to give whomever the coach is the chance to be successful here.
UNM Athletic Director Eddie Nunez is with us on the Sports Animal.
Eddie, you mentioned it a couple times of the work that Danny did do. You feel that the program is in a better place, but what are some things that you're looking for to be able to take that next step? What are some things that you believe are missing right now?
I don't know if it's missing or just a different perspective, a different vision. That's where we're going to sit down with coaches. We want to hear what some of these coaches have. We've seen different game plans, I guess you would say, in navigating this NIL, navigating the transfer. For me, we've got to do something differently. We've got to figure it out. We've got to be able to tweak certain things to continue to grow the resources, grow our chances to be competitive. And look, again, we can't look at this as one singular situation. We were in many of the games that we played this year, and that's something that made it even harder and challenging for me to make this decision. Danny is somebody, and I said this yesterday, and I'll always say it because I believe it through and through. He's somebody I truly care for personally, professionally. What he did for our program, not just football, our entire department, was exactly what this department needed when he came in. So I'll always be indebted to him for what he did for that. But we have to find those pieces that are going to help us make that turn and be competitive on a consistent basis. It can't be one-offs. And honestly, I'm not 6-6 is sure it's a bowl game. But we need to strive to be much better than that, and that's the way I approach everything. So it's regardless of who the coach is, that's going to always be my perspective.
And one of the things that you addressed yesterday as well is just the connection, and as you mentioned, what Danny meant to the athletic programs at the University of New Mexico, and how at the end, while there seemed to be so much love, it wasn't showing up in the stands. And then moving forward, your next head coach, you mentioned you don't have a specific type; you just want the best football coach available. What does that process look like for you, just finding the best football coach?
First of all, there's a lot of great coaches out there right now. There's already, in the short time that we've been going through this process, an unbelievable interest by coaches that are current head coaches, current coaches that have been head coaches, top coordinators. Sure, are we competing against Houston, San Diego State, Boise, and some of these others that on paper may have a little bit more tradition or a little bit more success, resources, however you want to look at it? We do. But for us to be able to have the interest level that we already do shows me that we have an ability here to be able to be successful. And it's not just, again, looking for the best coach, looking for the best person too, someone that can continue to be an ambassador for this program through and through. So, again, there's no perfect science with the way we have done things. There's no perfect science. It's putting your best foot forward, taking everything into account, finding someone who's going to understand what our vision is, what our values are as an institution, as a department, as a program, and putting it all together.
Eddie Nunez is with us just for a few more minutes, the athletic director at UNM. When did you make the decision in your mind? I mean, I'm not asking specifically what it was. Is it something that, because obviously you said it was emotional and you went, I'm going to assume you went back and forth on it. When did it kind of crystallize for you?
Honestly, I tried to sleep on it as much as I could. I had a lot of different factors in play, even up to after the game. I really had been doing a review throughout the last several days prior to the last game. And even after the game was over, as hard as our team fought, it really kind of, again, made me think about a lot of things. And so I would tell you it was overnight into the next morning. Didn't get much sleep, and partly, and that's okay. Sleep is not necessary when you're trying to make the right decision at the end of the day. And I was able to put everything on the table, put it in perspective, and say, okay, this is what my gut's telling me, this is what my heart's telling me, and based off everything that I've seen.
Yeah. What's a fair timeline, do you think? When a coach comes into a situation, and I don't even want to say like this, because I think every situation is different. What Coach Odom walked into UNLV is different than what somebody's going to walk into here that somebody's going to walk into at Indiana or whatever. But what's fair to get a program turned around in a direction where, whether it's fans, whether it's you as administration, feel it's going in the right direction?
I don't know if anybody has that answer. I would tell you that everybody hopes they have something similar to what you've seen at UNLV and other places. But a lot of that is navigating this new landscape. I mean, if you're aggressive and you're able to fill some of the pieces that you need to fill on your team with some transfers, some quality transfers, quality individuals, very similar to what we've done in every program here. Is we're not just bringing people in here just because they're talented. We're bringing them because they're good people, and that shows that we can do it and do it at a high level. So if it all works out, it aligns perfectly. Their success could become much easier in a short timeline. I'd like to say in the first year I want to see a significant change and an uptick, but it all will be on the vision of who we're trying to bring in, how they're trying to do this. But it can't be a long-term plan, because unfortunately that's not the world that we live in anymore. Somebody asked me last night about, older coaches and the perspective of somebody who looks at themselves as an old school coach per se. The reality is you could coach old school and you might be able to do things a certain way, but the reality is this new approach has to be taken into perspective, and a lot of that falls into the world of the NIL and into the transfer, into the resources, because we have the ability. Our university understands the expectations. I do believe there's going to be more resources put into this program across the board. I've had great conversations with President Stokes. Our regents have been unbelievable, and our state leaders. So this is something that we need to continue to grow if we want to be true competitors in this league. And then we're not far away. We're not far away. I know there's a lot of teams that were also 3 and whatever this year that are Power 5 programs. So understand, wins and losses are part of the equation, but when it comes to the ability, I believe we have the ability to compete for championships in this league. It's been done before, and it can be done again.
Yeah, I know it was emotional. I know that was a tough one, and it's I make no bones about it. I mean, I like Danny a lot. I respect what him and Sandra have done in this community and that family, and I know you do too. And I know it was an emotional day for you. I appreciate you spending some time with us and jumping on. I know the phone's ringing, and we'll be in touch. Probably very little as the search goes on, I imagine, but I know how you do the searches. But thank you for spending some time with our listeners this morning.
Listen, I appreciate it, and I'll definitely try to do. Don't believe a lot of things you read on the social media, as I've always said, unless you hear it from me. And lastly, I do appreciate you, too, because you guys understand the program. You're close to it, not just close to our program, but close to football. So you understand some of those other factors that are involved. So thank you for continuing to send the message out and doing what you can. And we'll be back on soon, hopefully sooner rather than later, so we can talk about our new coach.
Appreciate you, Eddie. Be well.
Thanks, guys.
Eddie Nunez, the athletic director at the University of New Mexico. Not a lot of patience, right? I mean, he said, this isn't a rebuild. Yep. This isn't a start from scratch. This isn't a long-term plan. He says we're close. I know the question, but I didn't ask the question because I think he already answered it. Well, if you're close, then why not let it go with Danny? And I think he answered that previously.
Yeah, and I appreciate, again, where he's coming from. And I know I've said it multiple times this morning about, just 6 wins in a bowl game, and you don't want to settle for that. You want to keep pushing forward, because if you're pushing forward in terms of saying, hey, these are the things we are laying in place foundationally outside the program to take steps forward, then those things should hit by allowing you then to have a spike.
All right, we are going to talk to Danny Gonzalez. He's going to be with us at 8 o'clock this morning. In about 12 minutes from now, we'll take this break, and then Danny's going to be with us coming up in about 12 minutes at 8 o'clock on the Sports Animal. This
and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers underage friends.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
If you're drunk, classic, intoxicated, rip, plaster, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProV. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows.
Dwight Goodman! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you back home, huh?
I got this, White. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need lights out getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all in there.
Drive safe, White.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife. And our daughter. They didn't make it.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi, I'm Steve Sucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I've ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations. Or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride barbecue chicken and ribs are proud supporters.
What he did, but we're at this point now where no matter what happens, I don't know if Lobo football fans are going to be able to have the stomach for 3 years or more of building. I would just like to see them consider more major changes, but I'm glad they're going to step away from this coach.
Thank you, Dwayne. Appreciate you. They're not moving down to division, whatever, FCS or whatever you guys, Division 2, whatever you want. I mean, it's just not going to happen. And to say we're going to pay a guy less than $700,000 and think we're going to compete, I don't think that's going to happen. I'm not going to roast you. I understand where you're coming from.
It's going to tank the rest of your programs.
Tony, good morning.
Good Lord, who was that guy?
It was
Who
Dwayne.
was that guy?
It was Dwayne.
Oh, I'm glad he's gone, but we can't stomach another rebuild, but I'm glad he's gone. But so what is it? Which is it? Listen, I was pretty like, wow. I mean, maybe they should have waited till the end of the season. Okay, but what's done is done. But look at Lobo football. Let's just put it out there. Okay, the coach is a big factor, but we're not all that talented. We have talent. Yes, we do. But we're not all that talented to be competing like, double-digit wins every season. And that's just being honest. Now, does a lot of that fall on the coach? Some of it does, but not a lot of it. Okay? No matter what coach, you bring in Belichick in here, and it's going to be the same thing. We need more talent. That's what we need. But I was going to go Broncos, but you know what? They're doing all the talking for me. Any rumors on who's favored to maybe be the next UNM Lobo coach?
JJ, there's a lot of names out there, right? I mean, the Bronco Mendenhall is an interesting one. I don't think the Gary Patterson thing's going to happen. I would be surprised if that does. I mean, there's a lot of names.
Yeah, you just crowdsourced a ton over the weekend.
But hey, what the AD said about you guys is true, man. You guys are real close to the program. You guys are always, keeping us informed on the what goes on behind the closed doors, what you guys know of. So, you know what? Kudos.
Appreciate you. I didn't touch the thing. He just dropped. Thanks, Tony. And appreciate that. Be interesting. Is it a name that we're hearing? Is it? I mean, the Bronco Mendenhall's been close to the program. There's somebody. I spoke to somebody this weekend close to Gary Patterson who said, "Yeah, I don't think he wants. I'm not sure he wants to take on that much of a." The word I heard was rebuild. Eddie just told you it's not a rebuild. I don't know. I haven't talked to Gary. Somebody that I know that knows him well said that. I don't know. I mean, all those are good names, interesting names. Certainly, both former defensive coordinators here at the University of New Mexico. We're going to talk to Danny Gonzalez next. I know he loves this place. I know he loved that job, and I know he wanted to finish it. And I also know that Danny's going to have a lot of opportunities. I firmly believe Danny's going to be a defensive coordinator at a really good program and make a lot of money. And Danny's going to be fine. He's going to join us next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night football.
Of Pro V Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of Pro V Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
You ready, Sal? You ready?
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, my mom.
As Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro V. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Willer Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswillerauto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Sucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Of his head coaching duties at the University of New Mexico, and the search is on for the next head coach. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck for the final time. This conversation with Danny Gonzalez is sponsored by the law offices of Rudy Chavez. Where do you turn when you need legal help? Rudy's experienced and really cares. Call Rudy at 505-242-5500 today. Make your legal problems go away. He is a Borqueño. He is a UNM alum, and he's now the former head coach at the University of New Mexico, and I appreciate him spending some time with us this morning. Danny Gonzalez joins us on the Sports Channel. Good morning, Danny. How you doing?
Good morning. Good. I just dropped off Abby at school, and we're going straight ahead.
Well, obviously, I know this isn't what you wanted. I know you love this place, and you wanted to finish this job, and Saturday you found out that it was going to go a different way. How did it go on Saturday? When you go into your meeting with Eddie, did you expect this? Were you caught completely off guard? It couldn't be totally off guard, right?
No, absolutely not. No, I mean, I had ideas, and we had a great conversation. And I mean, I want what's best for this place. I mean, I give Eddie some credit. He was very respectful in the timeline of how I wanted to do it on Saturday with Coach Vincent's son playing in the state championship game. There was no point in doing it. I mean, we met early in the morning and had made a decision, and was really respectful and allowed them to play the game. And then we told the team later that night. So I mean, that's the right way to do things, and that's who Eddie is.
How did the players handle it?
Very emotional. That football team is. I mean, it takes a while when you go through a transition, but those were all my guys. There was a lot of emotion, which is expected, but normally, I mean, and we do things different at the University of New Mexico, which I can appreciate. I got to be the one to tell them. Normally, that's not the way it goes. So it was very emotional, but that's the way it's supposed to be. I mean, I think all those kids as my own. I treat them like that, and so they're a tough, resilient group, and they'll work their tails off to support this place and make this place as great as they can, like they always have.
Danny, when you went into the conversation, was it laid out, or was there a conversation that there was was the decision made, or was there some conversation before the decision was made? Did you feel?
We had a conversation and came to a conclusion, and that's where we're at.
Danny Gonzalez, former UNM head coach, is with us on the Sports Animal.
Well, Danny, you're a competitor, and everything you did at UNM was to build men on and off the field and try to win football games. And you look at what you took over versus what the program is. What are you proud of what you were able to accomplish over that time?
Well, obviously, I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, and if you want to continue moving on and do those things, you have to win enough football games, and we didn't. And that's, I mean, point is blank, point blank. What I'm really proud of is what our kids and our student athletes did in this community, what we were able to do. We have a platform that I was able to use and take advantage of, and I'll have a platform going forward as whatever our next venture is. I'm proud of where our program is off the field right now and the foundation that's been laid. And I'm hopeful that whoever comes in builds this thing and continues to go and wins that 5th conference championship, because that was the goal from when I got here, and it doesn't change. It's just if somebody else leads them to that, I'm going to cheer them on from afar as if I was still here.
Danny, when you look at, you mentioned how ingrained you are in the community, how you presented that to your players to make it more than football. And there's a lot of people that appreciate that and are in you with you when it comes to what you have done in the community, but also it's sport. And you know it too, at the end of the day, is the team winning? Is the team good enough to show up? How do you think that connection between Lobo football and the community grows? Is it just simple, hey, win some games and there you go?
Well, that'll help, but that's not the totality of it. The totality of it is mostly our kids. And our kids did a great job of getting into the community and being a part of the community. And what a lot of people need to understand is through the history of Lobo football, 75% of the scholarship athletes that we bring in here end up living in Albuquerque for the rest of their lives. They become community members. And if they can start at a young age making our community better, it just makes it better in the long run for everybody. And now with the transfer portal and all those things, some of those numbers might lessen because of the movement that people have. But the majority of people, when they go to college, that's where they settle down. And I want those guys, and that was the whole goal of this program off the field, was to make them as great as men as we could so that they're better for our community. And I think we did a great job in doing that.
Danny Gonzalez is with us on The Sports Animal. In retrospect's easy. In hindsight's always 20/20. And I've taken hits for saying I think you've done everything right in this job except for win, right? In retrospect, is there anything you would have done differently?
Well, I mean, yeah, the biggest thing is when we built when I took this in 2020, we started with freshman classes and we took 3. I should have adjusted the model that we went to last year, probably a year sooner. I thought we could there was a good freshman class in 21 or in 22 that would have really helped this program, but 7 of those guys and one of them's the leading tackler in the Big 12. We should have probably went with the transfer portal model a year earlier, because all the kids that we took last year significantly helped our program, and a lot of them wouldn't have been able to leave. So that would have probably been the biggest adjustment that I would have made to that model when the rules changed. I made the mistake of thinking we could do it with one more class of freshmen, but that's okay. I mean, we got some great kids on this team from that class.
Yeah, you've been to a number of programs, and I asked Eddie this, and I'll ask you as well. Is this program resourced to meet expectations? And Eddie talked about not just going to bowl games, but winning conference championships, and you've talked about winning conference championships. Is this program have the resources to be able to compete with its peer institutions?
That's an interesting question. I mean, we're resourced towards the middle to the bottom of the Mountain West. The administration, they're working on that. You're gonna get a year where you're going to have enough to be able to compete at the top of the level. You should be very competitive in this league with what we have. Is it resourced enough? I don't know that anybody's resourced enough, and I don't think it is. Where it can be helped, though, and people get frustrated and upset with me when they hear this, you want a full stadium, then win games. I get that. Okay? But what people got to understand in this community, if you want to be special, when we went and played Boise and they were 4-5, they had a sold-out crowd. Boise just broke the record for their all-time attendance record, and now they're playing for the championship, and I get that, and they've had a lot of success. We had success here through the early 2000s and averaged 38,000 people to a game in 2005. If people want to be special and they want to have the great basketball programs and the great other sports, then support football. And now that you have NIL, the people in the community better step up and support NIL if they want to keep the Devin Dampiers and they want to keep those guys, because if they don't, you're going to stay where we're at. And so, is it resourced from the university side? Obviously, it needs to be better. Is it resourced from the community side? That part's the worst. That's the parts that we're the furthest apart. And this fan base is passionate. So if they step up and they do what they talk about what they want, then you're going to have a chance to be successful and take that next step. And that's going to be the hardest thing when you're not winning. I mean, people want to say, well, give me a winner, we'll come. Well, if you want to be a part of that, then you better help so that it goes faster than what it currently is.
Danny, what was it like navigating the transfer portal rules where players became immediately eligible, NIL, in the moment as all that stuff was hitting?
Well, it completely changed our model. I mean, I'm the ability for kids to run away from adversity and not fight through adversity, I don't think was good for our sport. But it is what it is. They laid out the rules, and now you got to navigate them. I mean, the A.J. Halseys, the Cody Moons, the Aaron Dumases, the guys that we lost. I mean, A.J. Halsey is I think he's the third leading tackler in the Big 12, and he was a freshman All-American here. If you got those kids, the 7 or 8 kids that left that have produced at that level on this football team, we've been a damn good football team this year. So now you got to go out there and find them. We did a really good job in last year's class going to that model, and we brought in a bunch of kids. Ja'Cory. I mean, Bill is as good as anybody in the country, and I would imagine there's going to be a flood of people trying to get Bill here. Bill is a loyal guy. I mean, I love Ja'Cory, man. I love all those kids. So there's talent in that transfer portal. You got to find the right ones, and then you got to work your tail off to get them to mesh so that as a group you have a team atmosphere, because you can have a bunch of talent with guys that don't get along. You're not going to be a good football team. Navigating both of those, there's all kinds of possibilities.
Danny Gonzalez is with us just for a few more minutes on the Sports Animal. I know it's going to be about everybody else, but I also know that, well, I know a couple of things. I know you love this place. I know you're going to be fine. I know that your phone's probably been ringing off the hook, and I know you're going to land on your feet, and you and Sandra and the kids are going to go start a new journey. How you doing emotionally? Because I know what you invested into this place, and I know what you wanted, and we've had a lot of conversations both on the air and off the air. And I know there's a lot of people who care about you. How you doing with all this?
No, I'm fine. I mean, it doesn't matter where you go or what you do. This is a hard job, not a job. I mean, this place can't break me. I mean, I love this place, and the failures that we had, that we weren't success that we weren't able to have, is obviously frustrating, because I do love this place and I do believe in this place and I believe in what we were doing. The time and everything that's happening right now with college realignment and all those things, you don't have that time to be able to move forward and take your time to rebuild. I understand that too. I mean, I have had phone calls and all those things, and we will be fine. It's not me that this is. I mean, it's hard on me in certain ways, but my kiddos have to go to make new friends at a new school. My wife has to come up with a new network of friends wherever we go. Those unknowns are what's the hardest about this profession. But I knew that getting in. My wife didn't necessarily know it getting in, because I was a football coach when we met. But she's obviously done an unbelievable job everywhere we've gone navigating that. She makes it so easy for our girls and for Cole and Jake, who are now older. So, I mean, we're going to be great. Our world is backed by faith. God is good to us. He's got a plan. This plan, obviously, is He wants us to be somewhere else, and that's what we're going to follow.
Any idea where you're going? You don't have to tell me where, but I mean, do you have ideas where you want to go?
I do, and I've had conversations, and we'll figure it out with the transfer portal and all those things, and recruiting opening up right away. It could be really quick. It could be a few weeks, but there's ideas.
Yeah, I know there's always going to be a lot of love for you around here, and I guess that's kind of the risk when you take over your alma mater, right? If you get to this point, does it get awkward? Does it get uncomfortable? And I know you're always going to love this place, and there's going to be a lot of people here who love you. I personally, to you and Sandra, you guys are great friends, and we're going to miss you, but appreciate all the time and the candor that you've shared with us, with JJ and me.
Absolutely. Danny, thank you so much.
All the time, all these Monday mornings and beyond that. We appreciate it. I know our listeners do. And I think people realize how much you poured into this place. And unfortunately, the win-loss record didn't hit where it needed to. But I think your impact is going to be felt for a long time. And so love to you and to Sandra, and appreciate all the time you spent with us, man. Really appreciate you, and I know we'll be in touch, and best of luck to you.
We will. I appreciate those kind words, and now I'm not. I mean, people are going to see me out in the community until we don't live here anymore. I mean, Costco, schools, basketball games. I mean, I am who I am, and I ain't changing. I do love this place, and I have a great passion for this place because, one, I'm from here, and two, more importantly, I played here. I want this place to be as special more than anybody. I promise that. So whoever they hire in whatever direction Eddie goes, I'm going to be that guy's biggest cheerleader because, I mean, I love this place. I love you guys and all that you do for our community. Jeff, continue to build the New Mexico Bowl wherever I'm at. I will help you with that, whatever I can. To the community of Albuquerque, fill up the New Mexico Bowl. It's a great event. The atmosphere that they put on that game day is unbelievable. And like I said earlier, if this place wants to be special, then let's get 25 to 30,000 in that stadium every week, regardless of what's going on. Have some fun, build NIL, we laid it out earlier. Kurt's doing the best he can. We need to be at somebody that's involved with football as much as basketball. And from small amounts, you can make a big impact. So if people want to be as special as they talk about, then make it happen. I appreciate y'all, you guys. Thanks for all you guys have done for me.
Be well, Danny. We'll talk to you soon. Danny
Thanks,
Gonzalez, take care. The now former head coach at UNM. That conversation sponsored by the law offices of Rudy Chavez, personal and experienced care for your legal issues. Call Rudy at 505-242-5500 today and make your legal problems go away. Super appreciate him doing that. He didn't need to do that.
No.
And in fact, when I talked to him, I didn't call him to say, hey, you coming on with us tomorrow? He said to me, you want me to come on tomorrow? And I said, I wasn't even thinking about that. That's who that guy is, man. He's been up front and stood in front of everything.
Yeah, and what you've said, it's unfortunate and that he didn't win. And Danny understands that it's the business side of it, but he checked everything you want when it comes to college athletics, because there's still a different connection in college sports that you have with a community, with your fan base, because you're not alumni of the Denver Broncos. All right, you might own 0.00% of the Green Bay Packers. Good for you.
Hey, look at him! Don't bag on him like that.
your certificate of the Packers, right? But there is a difference. Like when you go to school somewhere, when you would have that kind of level of investment,
then you can
in college athletics. You have that and to have a coach like Danny Gonzalez that was bought in across the board. Like he was showing up to things you weren't showing up to as fans on that campus to watch,
soccer
and support.
Games and basketball. Yeah,
it's a bummer because that was something special, and it's just the fact that you couldn't get a couple of those games flipped. It's a bummer.
I think you're right. I mean, I think that says it. It's a bummer. All right, you can respond to that. I got breaking news in the NFL. There's a coaching change in the NFL as well. We'll hit that when we come back. And the number's 505-246-0610. You can respond. What you heard, Eddie Nunez was with us. Danny Gonzalez was with us. Now it's up to you. On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night football.
For your surprisingly great race, contact your local State Farm agent today.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro V. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sal, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my elder sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, my mom.
As Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez. This is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of MD Safety. MD Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. MD Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers, underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-post.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver is, and my wife, and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Your surprise injury race? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm's there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you that bit home, huh?
I got this, White. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet.
Does anyone need White's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. Got a taxi all in there.
Drive safe, White.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on the street. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back into boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for the youth. I'm out of hope, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Mahad here, President of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, Warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses.
Is out as the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. You can respond to whatever you heard. Eddie Nunez and Danny Gonzalez were with us this morning. Both of those conversations will be available wherever you get your podcasts, and of course on our website, sportsanimalabq.com. Just click on the opening drive, and it'll be there for you. Got obviously a lot of response coming in already on Danny. Dan says, I just missed this. Where is it? Dan said, Danny Gonzalez is a class act. I pray for his family and hope to run into him before he leaves. He is way more than just a good football coach. God bless him and his family. Jeff said, good interview, class act, but it's about winning. And if the business community and Lobo fans don't step up and help sports venture with NIL, we will continue to lose top players with football. Kurt will not be able to continue funding it himself. If we want to win here, we need to support NIL too. Got to wake up, New Mexico. What was your tone on Danny? I thought Danny was incredibly positive. Might not be the word for what he's just gone through. I mean, as positive as but that's what I would expect from that guy, right? I mean, he said, "I love this place, and I'm going to support the new coach." And what did he say? Just flat out, I'm paraphrasing. It's a winning business. We didn't win enough, right?
Yeah, and it's never easy, but I think as a coach, like, you have to mentally go through these situations, all right, before they happen, knowing that you could be fired, or you've been let go before by other staffs, and so while it's still incredibly emotional and it hurts, you just lost your job as a coach, and even if that next job is right around the corner, no one wants to get fired or lose their job, but the positivity from Danny, because I don't even know if there's a lot of alumni that would do what he just did if their school just let them go. And it would just come on the radio again, talk about it, say, hey, I will be here to support that next coach. I really don't know how many dudes would do that.
Yeah. I think that's right. And like I said, he didn't have to do that. But I appreciate, and it doesn't surprise me because I know who he is. And again, I'll stand by this, and you guys can beat me up all you want. I really don't care. I do believe he did everything right, but win. Right? I mean, they just, and I asked him, what would you have done differently? And he said, he said we'd have gotten to the portal earlier, right? That first year? They were a little reluctant to go in the first year.
Yes.
Would that have built? Jim just said he chose grace and candor. Yeah, he did, but does that define you? Does that surprise you? I was just reading the defining the Gonzalez area. HB says, Jeff, on the last series, there was a Lobo player that grabbed a towel, jumped on the bench, started waving it, desperately trying. Yeah, you send me this all the time. I got it. Sarah says, can we talk Lady Lobos? We will in a minute. Yep, we will in a minute. Deutsch says the next person that needs to be fired is the associate AD in charge of scheduling, Jeff. They want to talk basketball as well. And let me hit you with this last one on football. John says, going forward, Jeff, I'm not a fan of the football program. Never have, never will. But I do have an opinion as to what it should do next. We as a school need to pay the minimum for any football coach. That will mean taking in an up-and-comer and get him experience. Then when he gets plucked, to do the same thing again. Become a farm team for coaches. You may occasionally have a great year, but let's face it. We have had 5 to 6 bowl appearances in 47 years. It's not going to get better. So stop throwing money at it down this bottomless pit. Save the money. Pay Patino when the big boys start trying to get him. I know it won't be popular with everyone, but this is what needs to happen. Like I said, 5 to 6 winning seasons in 47 years. We need to minimize our expenses, try to get people there, but don't pay a ton of money to keep the pay low and develop young coaches for Power 6 teams. Have a good week. Lobos by 18 on Saturday over the Aggies. It's from John. Okay? John, I will respectfully disagree with you. Basically what you're saying is, well, we're always going to stink. We're just who we are. We're not very good, so let's just pay like we stink. So I disagree with you. And I'm certain that's not the way they're going to go. Sean, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Sean.
Hey, good morning. As a fan of a now football school, I thought I would chime in here. Hopefully the Aggies pull off that win against Liberty on Saturday here. But
were you down there?
It's a tough situation, man. I mean, I think Danny's as much as he came in and was talking trash in the beginning, he's kind of the coach you want. You got the guy who loves his alma mater. He's going to do whatever he can on his end to try and get the wins, and it didn't happen for him. But it comes back to what I've been saying for weeks, expectations. UNM's budget is near the bottom of the Mountain West. Now, that doesn't mean you can't compete because there's, Utah State's there that they usually compete. There's some others that can kind of get in there with a lower budget. This day and age, I think they need to find a guy with connections. Obviously, NMSU has Jerry Kill. He has Jim Harbaugh call him and tell him, hey, I got a cornerback here. There's 4 guys ahead of him. Why don't you take him? You need a guy like that this day and age because it's the recruiting game is completely different. Budgets aside, it's tough in New Mexico, man. I mean, we have a 10-win team, and we get $15K at the game on Saturday. I talked to this guy, and he's like, "Oh, I haven't been to a game since 1998." And I'm like, "Why? Like, this is a historical situation." I think New Mexico we have these strange expectations of teams that it's like you're either ranked or we're not going to show up. I don't get it. I don't get the support at either school. I digress. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. I appreciate you, Sean.
It's a really good point because the amount of people that want to chime in and think that the rest of the athletic department is going to continue to grow and be successful and just try to do the bare minimum with football or drop it down, it's insane to me that many people think that way.
It's wrong. I mean, and I know, we keep doing the same thing. You just got to do it right. And somehow, bring back soccer. That's going to make you better. Football stirs the drink. And I know you don't want to hear it. But somehow, if you drop down, you think your football, people think you're going to win automatically if you drop down to FCS, why? And secondly, somehow it won't hurt your basketball program. And so it's not going to happen. All right. If you're on the phone, please stay there. 505-246-0610. I got to hit this break. The holidays are now here. Get your car taken care of and focus on your family and what you got to do. My friends over at On the Spot Automotive Detailing can help you get your car cleaned and detailed and looking like new. And you're going to tell me I don't have the time. And I'm going to say that I get it. I don't either. And you don't need the time. They come to you. Where it's convenient, when it's convenient, they will come to you and detail your vehicle. Inside, outside, under the hood, around the rims. When they're done, it looks and feels and smells like it's brand new. And they also offer window tint services for your vehicle. 505-859-2859. 505-859-2859. You can book or get a gift card. It's a great gift online at otsdetailing.com.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro V. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She's been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They've been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife. And our daughter. They didn't make it.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on the streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back and moved there. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for the youth.
I'm Adam Opie, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations. Or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride barbecue chicken and ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I've ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. In Indy Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indy Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-post.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you that man home, huh?
I got this, White. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need White's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. Got a taxi all in there.
Drive safe, White.
Lots going on this morning. Eddie Nunez was with us, the athletic director at UNM. Danny Gonzalez, the former head coach at UNM football, was with us today. You're responding to it at 505-246-0610. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Dr. Jim, thank you for holding. Where you been, man? It's been like 2 minutes since you've been on the air.
I'm a nonpartisan in all this, but I was driving, had to pull over. I was getting a little angry. So,
Vent.
But I would have my voice heard. Folks need to understand that UNM is not that far away from being competitive in football. And what it will take is a commitment to NIL. $500,000 or more can go a long way in getting the dudes that you need to have on both sides of the ball to win. And you don't have to look too far south to, see the impact that a commitment to football NIL can have. And in my mind, the biggest mistake that UNM athletics made over the last 3 to 4 years was, and this is not them, this is the community, was to dive in on NIL for Lobo basketball. If you reverse the flow of those funds, Danny Gonzalez is getting ready for a bowl game, who knows where, but that's the reality. And, I think it'll happen now because you won't get a coach to come here that is competent, because he will know what is needed to win in today's environment. And if you don't have a full-fledged commitment to football NIL, you will not get the coach you want. So I think it'll happen finally. But that's what we're up against. And all this silliness about dropping down to Division II or whatever, it is so simple for folks to understand if they just think this way. Football drives the bus for conference security and all of your other programs' health and competitiveness. It's that simple. And for 3-4 decades in this town, we have overvalued basketball because we're a basketball state. But at the end of the day, it is football that creates opportunity for our student athletes, creates the flow of funds for all of our other programs, and keeps us in the Mountain West. So when I hear this D2 talk or invest more in basketball, it's irrational. And I just, folks need to understand that there is still turnover and there is still realignment in college football. UNM is what I would call an at-risk Mountain West program. If you want to keep seeing Nevada and Boise State come down to play hoops in the pit, well, you know what you need to do, or somebody has to do it, is drive the bus for NIL for football.
Yeah, I want to make something really clear. And what you're saying, you're not saying stop investing in basketball. You're not saying divest in basketball. You're saying you have to invest in football. And I've said this for years. Just because you support football, that doesn't mean you're cheating on basketball, right? It's like, I'm a UNM basketball fan. I don't like the football program. Well, okay, and everything you said is absolutely true. And you're not cheating on basketball if you invest in football. No. You're not saying stop investing in basketball. You're saying we've got to do both around here to the levels.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, please.
There are 5 Division I basketball coaches, I think maybe 6, who make more than their football colleague at the same university. We are one of them. And, and that's just indicative. For 3 decades now, we have, and not we, meaning the collective leadership of the state of New Mexico from the Roundhouse on down, has prioritized basketball. And that's a tough dynamic to reverse, because if you have a business and you have 2 products, and you have one product that isn't doing very well, but if you break even or do well with that product, it saves your business. You have another product that has a rabid fan base, but no matter how well you do, it does not create the security that your business needs. Which one do you back?
It's very rational.
It's that decision.
Yeah. No, it's a great call, man.
That's it. But like you said, you're not divesting. You're just realigning.
That's right. No, don't be a stranger. And your perspective is great.
I got to go drive.
Go drive.
Thanks for pulling over. Making that phone call so you're not distracted. Pulled over. Yeah, causing some backup this morning.
That's a sane of an approach, and look, he works in this space now. I mean, Jim works in this space. He understands college athletics. You don't have to divest in basketball. Nobody's saying stop investing in basketball, but you've got to invest in football. And the NIL thing is going to be like. And I didn't fact check him. If UNM is one of only 5 Division I teams that pay their basketball coach more than football, I mean, good for Richard to make that money. Mm-hmm. You've never been to Sweet 16. Don't. Since the tournament went to 64. Now, are you getting the results? You will. I think this is a good basketball program. And I'm not telling you take away money from Richard. That's not what I'm saying at all. So don't hear it that way.
Your theme, and it's always been, is why not? And why not try to compete in both? You're putting programs out there, and I just saw this pop up from Pete Thamel on the X. Sources: Conference USA is adding Delaware as a member for the 2025-26 season. Okay. So why the heck would that school? They played FCS football, man.
Pretty good too.
Want to be a Division I football member? Why are they doing that?
Because it makes sense. Because it's good for the institution. Because the money that comes in helps all the rest of their programs. That's why Kennesaw State is moving up, and that's why Sam Houston moved up. That's why Jacksonville State moved up. And by the way, I watched Jacksonville State in person the other day. I spent a little bit of time with Rich Rodriguez before the game. Holy smokes, dude! That's the second-year transitioning football team. They're good. Aggies had to have a last-second field goal to get their 10th win to beat them. But to your point, there's a reason they're all doing it. Yeah, and going the other way and running from it. Because if you always do what you've always done, you'll always be what you've always been. And so some of you are saying, yeah, then stop spending money on football. And the other side of it is, well, start spending money on football, right? I mean, in perspective, you're listening to the same thing. And some of you are saying, stop spending money on football. And some of you are saying, start spending money on football. And you're watching the exact same thing go on, right? Ralph, he's an Aztec fan, says, Lobo fan wants a Lincoln Riley on a happy hour budget. Want better, must support in attendance and donations. Danny will get a solid DC job and may even get another head coaching gig down the road. He might. What are you going to do? Jim's right. Now, the plan that may work, JJ, is that $20 installment plan. Can people, if you get enough people to pay, can they go in on $20 a month? John, you want to talk about your Aggies? Nice win. They're 10-3. What's happening, John?
10-3 feels pretty damn good. Can't say that any or many of us have had many chances to say that. So I'm going to keep rubbing that lotion on that feels like 10-3 and
make it 11-3 this weekend.
Really
what the heck? Yeah, go get another one. Get a championship. I was and John, is that it? Appreciate the call. I was down there, JJ. I was there for the Aggie game this weekend. And DC, you don't know, I used to do Aggie games on TV. I used to do Aggie Vision. And JJ, I've been down there for November games and many November games. And kind of dreaded going down there at times. It was like, all right, I got to go down there. It's gonna, the place is going to be empty. They're going to get smoked.
Another first down.
That was the biggest by far November Aggie crowd I've ever seen. By far. And they're good. They're exciting. Now, Now, they turned the ball over 4 times. Jerry Kill's not happy about that. But
that's what
I'm going to tell you, there's excitement going on around that team.
But when you're good, you can find ways to win games like that. Games you shouldn't win. You shouldn't win a football game when you turn the football over 4 times.
Against a good football team. Jacksonville State's 8-4, has South Carolina beat. I mean, look, I'm not telling you national championship good. Not Edwards-style good. He's one of our callers. He calls it. If it's not top 10, it's not anything. Am I wrong?
And this is what I was screaming, and I couldn't believe it, but it's true. It's got to a point where everyone was looking, going, "Oh man, that schedule, that's tough for New Mexico State. That back into that schedule." No, they were the tough team. They turned themselves into that team.
Let me just tell you, man. And they navigated it well. They turned themselves into a good football game. And Diego Pavia has spoken.
Yes, he did.
And so
I guess when you realize you're going to a conference championship game.
Well, at 9:00, we're going to hear a little what Diego Pavia said to Rachel Phillips from El Paso Television.
Maybe we should let this guy talk about everything.
Yeah, now we're going to a conference championship at a bowl game. Maybe we got to get this guy out there. But they did have him speak, and so we'll let you hear some of that. 505-246-0610. Keep them coming. I know the phones are ringing. If you're there, stay there. You heard from Danny Gonzalez today. You heard from Eddie Nunez today. Text line says, Jeff, JJ, any chance Jimbo Fisher can coach the Lobos? He definitely doesn't need the cash, and if he can build this program, he will elevate his status. It's from Ronnie.
Jimbo Fisher could actually just buy it outright if he wanted to. So that's what we're talking about. Put his salary into the NIL pool. I'm just going to buy a football team
and put it into the NIL pool. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
This report is sponsored.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you that thing home, huh?
I got this, White. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need White's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. Got a taxi all in there.
Drive safe, White.
Boom. Boom.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro V. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and the mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Jose Mahad, President of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, Warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Ojeda, midfielder of New Mexico United. Clark Support United is an example of a commitment to local partnerships. Clark understands that pay for develops better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
Takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Surprisingly great race? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm's there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls.
Most powerful Aggies in all the nation are in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Secondly, what do Georgia and New Mexico State have in common? They're both undefeated in the SEC. Thank you.
Boom. Boom. Look at that, huh? I'll tell you.
Did you see what that Auburn team almost did to Bama?
Well, I was with a bunch of, obviously, I was at the game with a bunch of Aggie fans, and they were all watching the scoreboard, and
they're like, we're going to a New Year's Six bowl game if Auburn wins.
Oh, they didn't say that. It was 4th and 21 with 20-something seconds to go, and Auburn was up 24-20, and they're like, wait, we just beat Auburn, and Auburn's going to beat Alabama, and then Alabama pulled that out. Still, dude, I mean, does that validate the Aggie win a little bit more over that Auburn team that, I mean...
I think that it also...
didn't beat themselves, had Alabama beat.
Yeah, it also... It highlights why there's so many sports cliches. Trap game, looking ahead, not being focused. Because watching that Auburn-Alabama game, watching a lot of the Iron Bowl, I'm sitting at the airport on Saturday, and I'm like, this looks nothing like the Auburn team that just played Mexico State.
The same dudes, man. Yeah. Same exact dudes, right? Text line, 10-point underdogs against Liberty. How can that be? Thought they had arrived. Can you hit the haterade? Feels like a little bit of a hater tech. Yeah. 10-pointer. Well, they got beat there, 31-17 earlier in the year. Liberty's ranked and undefeated. Liberty could be playing for, if Tulane gets beat, a spot in a New Year's Six bowl. And they're on the road. And it's a short week. Yeah, they're underdogs. I don't know. Define arrived. They're playing in a conference championship game in their first year in their conference. And they're 10-3, and they're getting votes in the top 25 poll. I don't know. You tell me, what does arrived mean? I don't know. I don't understand it. It's all I know, dude. I was down there, and you want to talk about trap game? I mean, could that have been a trap game?
Yeah, because you're locked into
a championship game the week before you were at Auburn, and you got a team that comes in that has really no name, even though they're really pretty good in Jacksonville State.
Yeah. You're like, wait, Jacksonville State? Yeah. Playing team in Florida? No.
Yeah, they're in Alabama. Text line, Danny G will be the athletic director when Nunez leaves. Just a prediction. Interesting. What do you think of Danny as athletic director?
I feel like he's got a lot more coaching left in him.
He's got a lot more coaching left in him.
Being an AD.
I know. Whatever you want to do, right? That's interesting. A lot of people, I know Rocky at one point wanted the AD job. Can you replay the Eddie interview, please? It's over at sportsanimалabq.com. Go to sportsanimалabq.com and click on the opening drive, and it'll be there for you, and you can listen to it at your leisure. All right, when we come back, Diego Pavia has finally spoken about the incident that you saw on video of him appearing to urinate on the logo at the Lobo indoor practice facility. Did he apologize? Are you satisfied with his explanation? You will hear it and make your own decision. That is next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Thursday night and Sunday night. And tonight, football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on the street. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back into boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for the youth. I'm Adam Opie, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers, underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Rosendo Mahad here, President of Carpenters Local 1319. Juan Junior Gonzalez, Warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does. The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you that man home, huh?
I got this, White. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet.
Does anyone need White's help getting home?
No thanks, Romeo. Got a taxi all in there.
Drive safe, White.
Boom. Boom.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro V. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. ProView Networks.
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay.
Thank you.
For your surprisingly great race, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm's there.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone.
Going on? So much, and we'll touch on the NFL. We got Red Zone coming up. If you want to get in on the Broncos and what you saw out of the Eagles yesterday, and the Rams win, and Kyron Williams is back, and I know nobody cares about your fantasy football team. Before I left the hotel yesterday, I activated Kyron Williams off of my IR, put it on the roster. Oh yeah, no, and I'm going to put him instead of Joe Mixon. And I looked and I got in the car. And about 11:01 as I'm driving, the games are starting. I'm like, did I put him in my lineup? I looked and it was too late. He was on my bench. I played Mixon instead. Yeah, how about that? I won by 1 point. I got really.
Still won.
I know. I got really lucky. All right, this is something that I think you've been waiting for a while. This was a big story, and if you want to get in on what Danny Gonzalez had to say, please do. If you want to get in on what Eddie Nunez had to say, please do. Your thoughts on the coaching change, your thoughts on I'm going to tell you, and if you missed it earlier, it's worth your time. It might be a little longer interview, it might be 13-ish, 14 minutes. But what Danny Gonzalez had to say, it's at sportsanimalabq.com. Click on the opening drive. It's everything you would have expected out of Danny. He was candid and graceful and classy, and he was Danny. Yeah, I get it. You're going to get a new football coach. I hope you come close to getting a guy who's as good of a man, a human being. I really, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I know Eddie alluded to that yesterday, but a guy who, I hope you can find a guy who loves this place as nearly as much as he does, who does and embraces the community, a fraction of what he and Sandra and that family did. And you know, I get it. And Danny said it straight up. I know you got to win football games. All right. This was what, mid-September? When was the New Mexico State game? It was mid-September, right? Well, the video came out of New Mexico State quarterback Diego Pavia appearing to urinate on the logo of the Lobo indoor practice facility. Bleep the Lobos, and that thing came out, and it went out, and people lost their mind, and I understand it. And Diego has not apologized, and Diego hasn't spoken. There was no statement issued. Jerry Kill told us that basically Diego won't speak to the media the rest of the year. Well, now they're 10-3, and they're going to go play in a conference championship game. And I'm going to guess CBS is going to want to talk. Is that who's got their game? CBS. Whoever's got their game this weekend is going to want to talk to the quarterback. He's going to go to a bowl game. I guess they're going to want to talk to the quarterback. He might be first team all conference. So the young man from Volcano Vista High School in Albuquerque. So he did sit down with Rachel Phillips of KVIA, the, I believe, ABC affiliate in El Paso. And they ran this last night. So it's about 2 minutes. And judge for yourself. Rachel will be the female voice that you hear, and it'll be Diego Pavia. But this is Diego speaking publicly for the first time, and she does ask him the question.
So it happened before the year. Just a lot of animosity towards them. I knew what I could do. They doubted me. They told me I basically wasn't good enough. I wasn't going to play. And when someone tells you that, that's supposed to believe in you, I'm from the hometown. I'm there. I live 15 minutes away. It was just like heartbreaking, kind of. And so, I knew I was gonna have my chance to go. Last year, I didn't play them. I knew I was gonna have my chance to play them the following year, just because I knew that was a game. I feel like at the beginning of the year, I wasn't really focused on the first games because I was so focused on that game, and I knew I had to win. But that doesn't justify my actions for that. But at the end of the day, I shouldn't have done it. Obviously, it was a bad look. People thought different of me, but only God can judge me. And at the end of the day, I'm like at His calling. So, just really the animosity towards not the people of New Mexico. I love the people of New Mexico. They're hard hat lunch bread like I am, but it was more towards the people there at that school. It was just a lot of mixed emotions, and I felt like the video surfaced because we won. If we lost, it would have been a different scenario. But at the end of the day, people could think what they want. I'm always have my swagger to me. I'm always still be me.
All right. So he didn't apologize. He explained it. Does it make you feel any better? How do you feel about that? There's a lot there.
Diego's too good to just be so in this mess. Like, so because they didn't offer you a scholarship, it's cool for you to go pee on their logo?
No, he said flat out, I shouldn't have done it. But he explained kind of why he did it. And he said I shouldn't have done it.
Just use it as fuel to beat them.
Yeah, and he
like
obviously
you have
did.
done to
and
go on and win 10 games.
He said the first few games
Yeah.
he wasn't even into. He was just thinking about the New Mexico game. Yeah. Look, I don't know.
I think this is just something that they should have just did this in the first place.
Well, sure, it would have gone away 2 months ago if they'd have done this 2 months ago. But now it just came out last night, and it's the first time he spoke.
Because it's one of those things where you're just like, yeah, I get it, man. They doubted you. Beat them.
So
like you did. And keep going and keep winning games.
I'm going to tell you, I take that as an explanation, not an excuse. Okay? I'm taking that as, and I appreciate the young man. I mean, I'm sure it's not easy to open up and say, yeah, I was hurt. Right? Is what he's saying. He said it was heartbreaking. He obviously wanted to be a Lobo. Right?
Sounds like it.
Well, I mean, he said it was heartbreaking. He said, I'm the hometown guy, and they told me I wasn't good enough, and I wouldn't play. Yeah, and then later he said, obviously I shouldn't have done that. Look, he didn't apologize. He explained it, which I agree with you a million %. If they'd have done this 2 months ago, it would have gone away. And
instead of having it be kind of a pop-up the week before you're going to a conference championship game, because this dude is such a good college quarterback.
He's such a good college quarterback. And just being on the sidelines and watching the way his teammates love that kid, like they love that kid. An Aggie fan loves that guy. I was out one of the tailgates. They were selling these. The guy was wearing like one of these $2 blue hard hats that you buy at Home Depot, and they were putting stickers on it. And hey, $500. Yeah, who's got $600? The guy's like, why would I do that? I could buy it for $2. Now if Kill and Pavia signed it, I'd pay $500. Like that's what this dude was telling me. Why would I do? I could pay $2. That's how much they love that guy, right? I mean, I appreciate the explanation, and I guess what more do you ask, right? That's it.
At this point. He just had to speak publicly. He's the starting quarterback of a 10-win team playing for a conference championship. Yeah. He had to address that specific incident because it happened. And let's go.
Yeah, I guess what more? And okay, that's what he had to say. I get the explanation. Like, I was hurt. That's where I wanted to be. And they didn't want me, and they basically told me I wasn't good enough. And I was angry. And bleep them. And you know what? He's a 20-year-old guy? Like, I get the emotion. I'm not going to validate that was okay. I'm not going to even pretend to sit here and tell you that's okay. Because it's not. You shouldn't have done it. But there you go. And so you can respond. Aggie fan, do you feel better about it? Do you feel different? Aggie fan hasn't been bothered.
Aggie
about
fan
this
is not worried about that one bit.
No, Aggie fan has not been bothered by this at all. Aggie fan,
I think they've been
laughs
enjoying the fact.
I promise you, and
that it was never addressed.
I'm going to tell you, 9 out of 10 Aggie fans that I talk to about this still laugh at it.
Heck yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, 9 out of 10 Lobo fans I talk to are still pissed about it. Oh, sorry, upset about it. All right? And that's where that is. All right, 505-246-0610. We got Red Zone at 9:30. When we come back, where Sports Illustrated says Danny Gonzalez might be headed next. Fight on. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of Pro V Sports.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Ojera, midfielder of the New Mexico United. Clark's Support to the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that pay for adults with a team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of Pro V Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and the mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I go into the front, chill, walk to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find the booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends, in the quirkiest restaurant I've ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on the streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back into boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for peace. I'm not Hokie, warrior, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
All right, a couple of things. Frank Reich got fired this morning as the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. And Sports Illustrated put out a tweet. This is a while ago. A while ago is relative, but a short while ago. That USC, the University of Southern California, and Lincoln. What does USC need? USC scored 1 million points. What was Lincoln Riley's team's issue?
Defense.
Sports Illustrated. USC football, Trojans targeting Danny Gonzalez as defensive coordinator. I'm just telling you, Danny's going to be fine. Danny is going to be fine. He's going to get a job. He's going to get a good job. He's going to make a lot of money, and he's going to be fine. And he's going to that makes a ton of sense. Jeff responded to the Diego Pavia sound. He says the answer didn't change a damn thing. He comes off as arrogant and pissed off at UNM. I get that, but I did not hear anything in his voice. He is sorry that he did that. Really bad PR for him in New Mexico State. Unfortunately, he's also falling in with all the other antics from NMSU basketball. Aggies will never gain my respect again until Mario is fired and they apologize. I'll be cheering for the Mountain West Conference in the New Mexico Bowl if the Aggies are here. All right. I appreciate that, Jeff. CJ, you're in on Diego. Good morning, CJ. You're on the Sports Animal.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Well, the whole Pavia incident still bothers me, but my point is this, is that a kid like Pavia, a kid like Chavez, who's on the roster, or was, these kids, they kind of get it. Hometown, home state. To me, I think they provided an energy. We saw what Chavez did in those last 2 games of that COVID year. You may not think that was much, but he brought some energy. And it just seemed like Gonzalez and the staff were after these dream quarterbacks, Wilson from Kentucky, then Kendrick from Kansas, and then this year even. I just felt like after the Wyoming game, Lampier should have been the starting quarterback. We should be building on the future. But again, Pavia should have been a Lobo. He would have been better than what we had. Even with the offensive line, they would have found ways to win. They had that kind of energy. And so that part I felt Gonzalez failed on. And as far as the Aggies, hey, I pull for New Mexico. I'm a Lobo, but when it comes to state, I'm going to pull for them this week against Liberty. And I'm wherever they end up in a bowl, I'll pull for them because they're from the state of New Mexico.
Got it. No, I appreciate
That's all I have.
No, thanks. The Isaiah Chavez thing. Like I will tell you this: coaches see him every day in practice, and coaches, their jobs are on the line. They got to win. I always think a coach is going to put the best guy in there to win. Isaiah did win the 2 games in the COVID year, and it was crazy, and it was spectacular, and it was bonkers, and it was legendary. And I'm going to side with him on this one. He was, with all due respect, JJ, he wasn't a long-term Division I quarterback. Diego Pavia surprised me. I saw enough of Isaiah where, they won a couple fluky games, right? They did win, and it takes more than
Isaiah Chavez is a legend for that. For stepping up into this season, the COVID year, the team in Las Vegas, Nevada, playing the entire season, but he also had plenty of time, plenty of opportunities
to win that job,
to get better, to show, hey, you don't need to bring in Terry Wilson, you don't need to bring in Miles Kendrick. Now, this year's quarterback class was good. That was not the problem with this football team.
No.
Dylan Hopkins, Devin Dampier were fine.
No, the offense wasn't the issue. Al, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Al.
Hi, guys. I'm going to chime in
and I want to repeat what everybody says. He is a class guy. He is one of the few people in my life that I've met that I consider really class. The other thing is, these people who want to drop down to another level of football, they don't understand. We'll get kicked out of the Mountain West Conference, and we'll lose that revenue that we get from the conference.
That's right.
And the thing of it is that last thing is one of my economics professors many years ago, actually I was awake at this time, he said to me, and to the class, there is such a thing as social good. And the Lobos are a social good. When they win, everybody's happy. When they lose, disappointed. Last year, I'll give you an example. Last year when we beat San Diego State at San Diego State, my wife the next day said, will you please get those feet on the ground for a while? Because that's how high I was.
Yeah.
And, people don't understand that. I feel bad for people, but Danny's just a class guy. But it's the old story, you don't win, you're gone.
That's right, and he gets it. Thanks, Al. Appreciate you. I'll move. Mark, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Mark.
Good morning, Jeff. How are you, sir?
How you doing?
Good. So again, I was a big Danny fan. I love Danny. He's a home guy, but when you're down to less than 5,000 people, and I've gone to every game, it is time for a change.
Okay.
I know the Mountain West is probably going to bring in possibility Oregon State and Washington State, and we need to be able to compete with them type of teams. And I hate to see Danny go, and he gave us his heart, his soul, but I think it was time for a change. It was similar to when Davies was here the last game. There was maybe 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people. So I think it was time for a change. As far as Diego, I'm kind of like that last person that said about the email. I'm never an Aggie fan. Born and raised here, I'm a Lobo fan. Just as you have a USC and a UCLA, they're going to like each other. I'm not a fan of the urinator. Let me ask you a question, Jeff. If you bring New Mexico State up here for the New Mexico, I probably would not attend. And if I do, I probably would cheer for the other team. But what does that mean? Do we have to cover all the Lobo stuff, or just...
Well, you're afraid he's going to pay. So let me ask you, Mark, real quick. Why would you not attend? Just because of him?
Well, no, I'm a Lobo fan,
yeah.
and I'm not an Aggie fan. I've never been an Aggie fan. Yeah. There's a rivalry. I have friends at New Mexico State that hate the Lobos, so it's a rivalry.
Yeah,
it's a rivalry, and it's like an Auburn and Alabama fan. It just I have a dislike for them. Because I grew up a Lobo fan, Jeff.
No, I appreciate that, Mark. Yeah. And if that's your decision, if New Mexico State's there, I'll respect it. I hope you reconsider and come out and have a good time with us. But if
I probably, I might, Jeff. Yeah. I'll probably be cheering for the other team.
Yes, you should. No, I totally get that. No, and
it was like when New Mexico State was here for the Sweet 16. Right. I went to cheer for UCLA because I'm a Lobo fan.
I get it.
But I know you do put a good product on the field, Jeff.
Frank, Mark, don't be a stranger. Thanks for the call. I think there's. I know UNM talked to Diego, and whether they thought he could play, whether they thought it was a character thing, whatever it was, they went another way. I don't know if Danny had the chance to do it again, if he would do it any differently, to be honest with you. I guess we could have asked him that at some point. But there's a lot more than, there's a lot that goes into recruiting. Is he a fit for your program? Is he a fit for what you do? And I mean, Lobo fan's pissed. The Lobo fan is angry. Lobo fan is yeah.
Well, it would be the same either way. And I think that's, even in a rivalry fans understand that. If a Lobo did that at New Mexico State, I don't think they'd be giving him a pass.
Of course. If you urinated on Pistol Pete's mustache and you have a problem. Now, Lobo fans say none of our guys would do that. Well, I don't know. You heard him talk. He explained what he did. He said, obviously I shouldn't have done it. He didn't apologize. He said I shouldn't have done it, and explained why he did it and why he felt the way he did. That's what you've been asking for, right? And like I said the whole time, man, even if he doesn't want to apologize, I think he should at least make a statement. He did. You don't have to like it. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to like him anymore. But I mean, he spoke, and I thought it was our duty to let you hear what he said. Grady, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal.
Slow news cycle survivors of the OD and the AM. What's happening?
That's right. Nothing.
Not a whole lot. I have to respond to a couple things. Did you know that Albuquerque, New Mexico as a whole, but Albuquerque in particular, it ranks pretty low as far as crime goes? So maybe we should just stop funding law enforcement and turn it into a training ground for other cities. Pay our cops as little as possible, then send them to other cities. And, New Mexico, education-wise, doesn't rank that high. So maybe we should just stop paying teachers, and, just train them to get to study here and then go somewhere else. I can't understand that logic. And listen, coaches will come and go. ADs will come and go. Make your facilities as best as you possibly can. I hope Eddie Nunez doesn't fall to the curse of, New Mexico inferiority complex and shoot for the middle. Pay a coach. Why not shoot for the upper end of the conference? Why not try to make your facilities and to pay your coach as much as you possibly can, and even stretch it, because you're going to have these facilities for a long, long time. I'll give an example to our folks to the west out there in Tucson. Those facilities, the football facilities, they are top-notch. And that football team has been trash for 20 years.
Now look at them. I was out there when they were building.
They've been trash for 20 years, and now look at them. Just 3 years ago, they were 1-11.
Yeah.
But that never stopped the university and that community from trying to invest as much as possible into the facilities. And it makes a difference. Go down the road to Artesia. You don't think there are some people in that town that don't really think they should be putting all that money and effort into their football and basketball facilities?
Winner.
But it shows that, it reflects that. So why not take this opportunity to really, make a statement? You don't have to wait for a coach to come in and make a statement for change. Why not do it now administratively? So that's what I'm hoping for. And lastly, with this whole Diego Pavia thing, old boy did come across as ultra arrogant and not contrite at all. And the last time I checked, when he graduated high school, NMSU didn't recruit him either. So it's one of those things where only God can judge me. Well, only God can judge you maybe to get into the pearly gates, but we're all judging you down here based upon your actions and your reactions. And, you talk about 2 strikes. But
yeah. All right, man. Appreciate
the time.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I was up at Oregon this weekend for Thanksgiving, and I got a little bit of a tour of their facilities. They're otherworldly.
Oh, yeah.
They're otherworldly. Now, granted, Nike money, power money. Look where they are. But astonishingly good. Howard, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Howie. Howard.
Hey, I'm here, guys. How you doing?
Good. What's up?
I think Brady's on the right track, but my friend, I think we need to keep the police, pay the teachers more, just abandon garbage pickup. All you lazy Borqueños, dispose of your own garbage, and maybe we can pull from that money. But anyhow, you said, would Danny have done it any different? I think he touched on one thing, guys. He did say he wished he'd have gone to the portal a year sooner.
Yep.
But I appreciate his candor and coming on and speaking graciously. And he truly loves the state. I was thinking with my heart, not my head. I really wish he'd have got one more year, but he didn't. So here we are, guys. And the guy that wants a farm team, a farm club or whatever for coaches, you tell me, how long do you think it's going to take to hit on a coach that improves right away and then goes to the next level? Silly idea. Have a good day, guys.
See you, Howard. All right, let me get one more in before the break, and then we'll go do Red Zone. Adolph, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hey, Adolph.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Most times when I call, I just have a few observations. But this particular morning, I was just thinking, and I'll just ask the pointed question here. Jeff, JJ, do y'all have confidence that the University of New Mexico and the athletics department in particular can actually put a football program together that can win on the gridiron? And I'll hang up because I want to hear the response.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. My answer is yes because I've seen it. Now it's a different era, and the NIL era is different, but I've seen it a couple times around here. So yeah, I do. Do I have confidence? And I get the question is, do I have confidence the resources are going to be there? And that's where. But yeah, my answer is yes.
That's more the unknown, but I have confidence that they can cultivate what's needed to try to be better in the NIL space. You know, to try to get some people's attention now that, you know, this move was made. And this is one where, you know, a lot of people asking questions about the Utah State game and if they win that, does Danny stick around? And that's possible. But even before the decision was made over the weekend, you're already going through that process as Eddie Nunez. You already are understanding, all right, at the end of the year, these are my decisions. I can fire a coach. I can keep a coach another year. If we move on from firing him, what does that potential wish list look like? Where are we at athletically in terms of our facilities? What do we get right now in terms of NIL money? So all that stuff is already happening. It didn't just start Saturday. And so that's where I look and say, all right, there is a belief. Because something that Eddie Nunez has said multiple times over the last couple of days is about the new era of college athletics, transfer portal, NIL. So this is something he has already aggressively been looking at. And I have to assume they believe that they're going to see a little bit of an uptick when it comes to NIL money. All
right, we got to take this break. We're going to do Red Zone on the other side. And if you're there, stay there. We'll get to you as well. We're going to get into the NFL stuff, too. Leaders right now, are they going to be the leaders at the end? A lot of big NFL coming off another big weekend on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night football.
Telling it like it is.
Jose Mahad here, President of Carpenters Local 1319. Juan Junior Gonzalez, Warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does. The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. The information can be found on our website.
Hi, I'm Steve Sucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, stop, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, my mom.
As Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
All right, Danny Gonzalez was with us today. If you want to hear that conversation, I know a bunch of you have asked us to replay both the Eddie Nunez and the Danny Gonzalez. They're both on our website, sportsanimалabq.com. Just go to sportsanimалabq.com, click on Opening Drive. It's free, it's easy, it's all right there for you, and you can get a listen to it. It's worth your time. Gene, thanks for holding. You're on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Gene.
Morning, guys. Hey, I just wanted to touch on something regarding the Diego situation. Hasn't been talked about, but so Diego, if you listen to the whole interview, he talks about this took place before the season even started. He says that they didn't release the video until the Aggies actually beat the Lobos, and I'd like to ask Eddie about that. I mean, that was kind of the thoughts early on, like why is this coming out now, especially after the Aggies just won. And, there's stuff that happens. I mean, you mentioned it earlier, 21-year-old kid, every time there's a game, I bet if you were to go into the Lobo locker room after, a victory by another team, I bet you that locker room looks like it, there's probably some lockers that have been, punched and rattled and there's trash everywhere. We've all been, we've all seen that. I'm not comparing that to be the same type of thing, but this, the destruction or the, the stuff that happens at facilities, takes place every game. Secondly, the Lobo fans who are talking about not going to the New Mexico Bowl if the Aggies are there, you've been going to this thing for 15, 20 years, and now you're not going to go in your home city because the Aggies are playing. Please go. Aggie fans, we want you to be there. We want to fill that place up, and we don't care if you're wearing the other team's colors. Just go. It supports the city. It supports the bowl. And, hey, the bigger the crowd, the better.
Appreciate
the last thing I want to say is, we haven't really talked about it, but I'd like to put the question out there about whether you think the success that Jerry Kill has had an effect on both the firings at UTEP and UNM. These are big rivals.
I think yes.
More resources, and they're seeing what the Aggies have done in the last 2 years, and I think that played into both firings. And I'll let you go with that.
Thanks, Gene. Yeah, we did talk about that. I think both you and I do think, I think it made things uneasy in both places, that it happened so quickly there. UTEP, New Mexico feel that they're superior, whether they'll tell you that they do or not. They're funded superiorly, and they feel, why, if they can do it so quickly, why can't we? And I do think that put a little pressure on.
It played a little larger role than usual in the overall process. It wasn't the final deciding factor, but it definitely was one of the many factors you take into account. I know Eddie Nunez, everything that he's laid out, I'm sure he had his entire checklist of things he's talking about, of things he's discussing, of what he wants from his program. And I will address destruction of opponents' property is absolutely an issue. Teams are not destroying visiting locker rooms all the time. Are you leaving and there might be some tape on the floor and other things they have to clean up? Yes. Visiting teams aren't destroying lockers all the time. That would absolutely be a problem.
And I want to go back to this whole notion that UNM released the video. I don't know where I know the video was out on Friday before. I saw it, you saw it like Friday afternoon. I know it was out. And I don't think UNM released the video. In fact, I know they didn't release the video. Whoever had it sent it to UNM. The players had seen it. Remember, Danny didn't use it in the locker room. Danny had it on Friday, showed it to Eddie, the athletic director, and said, what do you think I should do with this? They didn't use it as, and Danny wasn't going to anyway, use it as motivational. The players had already seen it. UNM, I know everybody, well, they released the video. No, it wasn't theirs to release, man. Like you think they had the video the whole time and that's when they released it? Whoever had the video sent it out. Now, what was the timing on it? What was the motivation? But that's one thing that I think is one of these fabricated. Well, they sent it out because they lost. No. It wasn't theirs to send out. It was out. It was out. I mean, once a piece of video gets out, dude, if it's on your phone, then your kid's phone.
College kids have it, and you put it, whether it's on the Snapchat, it's on the Instagram, it starts getting in text threads, it's
so
everywhere.
on and so on and so on it goes. All right, DC, let's do a little. We may have to split this with a break in between, but let's do some red zone.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
Are you crazy? I'm saying you're a football player.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to Tom Brady this game.
You're in the red zone with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
Let's go, baby!
It's first and goal.
All right.
No, it's good to hear you. I forgot what your voice sounded.
I know. Well, there's been so much going on today. I mean, come on. We had to hear the callers, let's be honest. That was a good day. Big day. Yeah. So we'll do Red Zone, the quick version. Leaders of the pack. Right now, we have Dolphins, Jags, Chiefs, and Ravens leading their division in the AFC. Over in the NFC, Lions, Eagles, Falcons, and 49ers are leading their respective divisions. Do you think all 8 of these teams will remain in the driver's seat for the final third of the season? If so, why? If not, which team falls out and who takes their place?
All but Atlanta. I just don't believe in Atlanta. Not that I believe in anybody else anymore in that division, but with their quarterback situation, the mess that it is, I don't believe in Atlanta.
I agree with you on that one. Another one I will have to say is the Miami Dolphins. The Bills already have one win over the Dolphins. The Bills, I get it, they're 6-6, but they can go in and beat Miami and have the tiebreaker there and potentially win that division. So that would be the other team I would look at. And I think Miami is very good, but the Bills already having that win gives them that advantage.
Second and goal.
Ready, down, put.
I cannot believe I'm saying this, but the Denver Broncos won their 5th consecutive game with the 29-12 beating of the Cleveland Browns yesterday. In that 5-game stretch, Russell Wilson threw for less than 200 yards 4 times. Wilson has fumbled 3 times in that stretch, but has not thrown a single interception since the loss to Kansas City in early October. So break down what you're seeing from the Broncos offense, and really, should we be talking about Sean Payton for Coach of the Year?
Mate, what about Vance Joseph? Bouncing back from
giving up a 70?
A 70 burger. What I like about Denver is they're embracing who they are. Sean Payton is maximizing Russell Wilson. He's not asking him to do too much, and sometimes that is okay. And what we're seeing is Russell Wilson is maximizing the red zone attempts for the Denver Broncos. Cortland Sutton has been a huge factor. They actually had 2 rushing touchdowns yesterday. One of those came came from Russell Wilson on the ground. It's something that Cleveland hasn't done this year, and that's give up rushing touchdowns. And I just like the fact that they're embracing who they are. They're maximizing the offense. Yeah, it's not spectacular when you look at the yardage, but it's what you talked about. 0 interceptions.
So I see them just taking care of the football, running much more controlled, less risk, and reeling Russ in. There's no more let Russ cook, right? This isn't a let Russ cook theme. They're running the football, like you said. Coach of the Year, I'm fine, whatever. I mean, I'd go Shane Steichen in Indianapolis before there, with a backup quarterback and doing what they're doing. There's a couple other guys I'd go, but fine if you want to throw them in, fine.
Third and goal.
All right, so they give out turkey legs for outstanding performances on Thanksgiving, but what about the guys who played on Sunday? Pretty sure they like turkey as well. So, what player or players are you awarding with the turkey leg for their Sunday performance?
James Bates, safety for the Atlanta Falcons, absolutely turned that game with a pick 6 in the red zone, another double-digit tackle game. He forced a fumble, and this is an Atlanta Falcons team that is 3-0 in that division. And he might not trust them, but a performance like that gives them a huge edge.
I'm ramming it. Kyren Williams, man. Coming back from IR, just got activated this weekend. 16 carries, 143 yards, 6 catches, 61 and 2 touchdowns. Give my guy Kyren Williams some food.
Fourth and goal.
Did I stutter? Beer me.
All right, after Monday Night Football tonight, we will officially be 2/3 of the way through the 2023 regular season. So of the teams currently in the playoff mix, which ones are legit contenders and which ones are just hanging on? We'll start with the Falcons.
Hanging on.
I think they're legit because they're 3-0 in the division.
How about the Saints?
Oh, they're hanging on by a thread.
Hang
That
on.
offense is a disaster.
It is awful. Now, what about the Packers?
They're hanging on.
Hanging on with two hands. Jordan Love last 7 touchdown passes, just 2 interceptions, and they have a favorable schedule.
Yeah, they've turned it around. What about the Texans?
They're legit.
I do think the Texans are legit. I think we got to kind of start giving Jacksonville more credit. I don't know, for some reason, you're looking at an 8-3 football team, and we just keep kind of trying to downplay the Jaguars, but that was a really good win. As much as we love the Texans and C.J. Stroud, who was good, he didn't lose that game yesterday. Like, you got to start buying the Jaguars, but the Texans are legit.
Okay, what about the Broncos?
Hanging on.
Hanging on.
Okay, and finally, the Buffalo Bills.
They're hanging on too, man. I mean, it's hard. They got to win a freaking game at some point. Like, I think they're good, but they got to win a game.
Best 6-6 team there is.
They've lost 4 of their last 6. They got to start winning. It was against they beat the Buccaneers and the Jets and lost to the Giants. All right, good red zone.
How about your boy Tommy DeVito? Back-to-back victories.
2 in a row,
Put some
baby.
respect on that man's
that's right.
name.
Yeah, he dominated. Put him on your fantasy team if you like him that much. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Tommy DeVito.
You like him that much, huh?
Love
Put
it.
him on your team, huh? Put him on your ZD. Hey, Ma, get me Tommy DeVito, huh? We'll wrap it up when we come back. Everything you got to know as you go through, what day is today? Monday? What do I get tonight? I get Monday Night Football tonight, don't I?
Dun, 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 dun. Bears, Vikings.
Oh, yeah. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal. You're home for Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday Night Football.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on the streets.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of Pro U Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez. This is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road.
This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
You ready, son? You ready?
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, my mom.
As Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Sucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Sports animal Frank Reich was fired this morning. Head football coach of the Carolina Panthers. Lots this morning. Eddie Nunez, the athletic director at the University of New Mexico, was with us talking about the decision to make a change at head football coach, and the former head football coach, Danny Gonzalez, was with us this morning talking about his time here, his tenure, what went down, and really his feelings about it. And it's all available if you missed any of it. I think it's worth your time. Go take a listen at sportsanimalabq.com. Click on the opening drive, and it's there for you. And I think it's worth
and wherever you get your podcasts, too. Like, just search the opening drive, subscribe, follow, listen in. DC does a fantastic job of getting all the content up there for us. And you can listen to the show segments you've missed, anything along those lines, and, of course, the big-time interviews today.
Yeah, no, it was good today. I appreciate both Eddie and Danny. Mud says UNM should have waited till next year, but I do wish Coach well. God bless you, Coach. Go Lobos. Mud also says, I like kill, but bleep the Raggies, is what he said. All right, fair enough. Look, that's what it is. This says, I think Mountain West officials are purposeful and seven. What? My question is, why hasn't Brian Urlacher contributed anything to the program lately? He took his Hall of Fame and ran away. I'm not sure that's right. And how many times does the guy have to contribute? Like, if he gives you $500,000 or whatever he gave towards the indoor facility, does he have to give you every year $500,000? Is now you don't like him anymore because he only gave you a big chunk once? I mean, and you don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing, to be honest with you. That's kind of a weird one. Hey Jeff, I already read you that one. Bill, we are continuously ranked as one of the poorest states in the country. What would happen if UNM reduced the price of football tickets and reduced parking to free parking and make up the losses in concession sales? The attendance was pathetic the last few games. It's just too expensive for a family to attend a game or games at the current prices. I know you support parking prices, and that is easy to do when press gets free passes. It's from Bill. I don't support. I understand why they do it. I mean, it's just everybody. And I know if everybody does it, is that the right thing? It is a revenue source. Where's their free parking anymore? I mean, if you go to a movie, I guess in the mall.
Well, in terms of sporting events,
yeah. Period.
Or
no, seriously,
events in general, nowhere.
If you go to
a concert,
you go to Popejoy.
You get free parking at a concert. Unless you want to pay for VIP.
Well, it depends what concert you're going to, where the venue is.
Yeah.
If you go up to the Isleta Pavilion, you pay for parking. You absolutely pay for parking up there. If you go to Popejoy, you pay to park in the structure. No, Bill, I don't support it. I understand it. I don't get angry at it. I just factor that into my costs. Now, do I get media pass? I do. But there's plenty of places I pay to park. When I saw Taylor Swift, I paid $100 to park my car.
Well, to that point, I will say you can buy season ticket packages for like $125 when we do the sweet deals. That get you 2 tickets to games.
I mean, at some point they've got to make revenue, and it's not all about just buying hot dogs and waters. I don't know how much. Another day we'll do a dive into ticket prices and where they are with their peer institutions. But I think their tickets are relatively, and I said I'm never going to tell anybody what they should or can't afford, but relatively fairly priced. Marty, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal.
Hey guys, I know you're going to get off here a little bit. That's a silly statement. Or whoever tweeted or emailed that. It's so inexpensive, global football. When you compare it to basketball, I'm sure there's more games, but it's such a great value. There's 6 games. You know, it's you're not going to. I would go on a limb and say you're not going to find no better deal anywhere in the country for Division I football. Maybe New Mexico State, they don't charge for parking. Maybe. UTEP maybe, but that's a silly statement. That's how disconnected you are with 2023. That's all I got to say to that guy. Rich Rodriguez, I'll get off the air. Any chance?
I don't know. I talked to him, and I didn't ask him about this job. And in fact, it was before the game. I wasn't going to ask about any job. I do know his phone is ringing. I do know. But that was before this job was open. Marty, good to hear you. Music says I got to go. Have a great day.
Bye.
I did ask him. I said, your phone's got to be ringing. He says, yeah, but we like it here. You know, and his daughter Raquel was there taking pictures, and his son was there. And I mean, thank you, Eddie Nunez and Danny Gonzalez. Both were with us today. Again, it's available for you if you want to hear it. If you missed it or want to hear it again, Jim Rome Show is next. Heard with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is here at 4, and then you get Vikings and Bears on Monday Night Football. Adrian, great work. Keep it up on the video side. It looked great. DC, busy morning for you, huh? Threw a few curveballs at you today. Great job.
Good job. What a day.
Big day for you?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. Good day now.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
If you're drunk, classic, intoxicated, rip, plaster, paint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, son, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, my mom.
As Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife, and our daughter, they didn't make it.
José Mahad here, President of Partners Local 1319. Juan Junior Gonzalez, Warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does. A The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. The information can be found on our website.